Thank you for joining me once again. I do appreciate it. First off, though, kind of give a little background and insight to people that maybe want to know what you're doing right now here in AAA. Just kind of give some background and where you are.
Yeah, I came back from rehab injury. I had Tommy John. I blew out my UCL at the alternate site last year. And that was at the beginning of middle of April, I think it was. Had surgery at the beginning of May. And then that takes about, 12 to 13 months of rehab to come back from. I went to high A for a week just to get my feet wet. Then I went to double A for 2 weeks, I believe. And then, here I am back in Omaha, trying to come back and make it to the big leagues.
And when you talk about Tommy John surgery, obviously a lot of fans are now aware and obvious to what that is, but it's evolved over time in terms of how the surgery has progressed and how the comeback seems like it's a lot easier for pitchers, especially. Because years and years ago, Tommy John surgery seemed like almost a write-off or like an end of a career sentence kind of thing. But
Right.
being now that it's evolved, what was it like for you, that whole process and kind of rehabbing and getting back to where you are now?
A blessing in disguise, I think. You know, Technology now and information is just so much better than what it was prior to. And it's definitely a mental grind. It definitely tests you in so many different ways, mentally, emotionally, physically. Um, but it's a slow process, especially those first like 4 months, 5 months. You really learn about yourself in those 5 months when you're not doing much. Like I said, it's a slow process, but I try to go to the best doctors and get the best results, and people who have a really good track record at doing these Tommy John surgeries. There's so many people out there now who are really, really successful at doing these surgeries. Um, so it's good for us as pitchers, being able to have that peace of mind when you're going down and getting surgery. But it's a blessing in disguise. You learn how to pitch hurt for so long that you just forget what healthy is. Um, so now that I'm back healthy, it's awesome. I'm very thankful. I'm very blessed that I'm almost 30 years old and I'm still playing this game. So in that respect, it's awesome, dude.
And and I know at least in some contact sports like football and things like that, people say you play hurt, but you don't play injured. You're always beaten up and banged up and bruised or sore or whatever like that. But in baseball, when you're pitching, how can you differentiate to know when there's just a general soreness in terms to reaching that threshold of knowing when you're hurt?
Yeah, when you start compensating or changing your delivery or your mechanics, that's typically a red flag. You're always going to pitch sore. This season is so long. You have 160 something games, and it's every day, man. It's 7 days a week, and you have an idea. You know the difference between pain, injury, and soreness. That's one way I look at it. And when you start to compensate, or your mechanics are off, or your velocity's down, that's when you know, like, okay, I need to take a step back, maybe talk to a trainer, get checked out, see if I just need to take a couple days off, and then go from there.
And what is the day-to-day like for you in terms of recovery and progression, knowing you're coming out of the bullpen, but you don't maybe going into it that there's a chance every day that you could pitch coming out of the bullpen, but what is it like knowing that there's never really a constant, like finite amount of times that you're going to pitch? What is it like going in preparation wise to be ready to go in?
That's crazy, man. Because when I was in Double A, they didn't let you know when you were gonna pitch. Um, Here in AAA, when you get to the field, there's a sheet and it's like a red, yellow, green. Red means you're down. Yellow means like if we need you in an emergency. Green means you're good to go for that day. So you have an idea when you get to the ballpark what your day is like. Okay, I'm green today. There might be a chance that I get in. There's a pretty good chance. If it's yellow, it's like, okay, if there's a certain situation for me, for an example, like I'm left-handed, maybe a guy's in a tough spot. He's a right-handed pitcher. Um, there's a lefty on deck. Hey, we need to get Skoglund going to get this lefty out. Then I'd probably be done for the day. Red, I'm done for I don't have much going. I'm just going to play catch, recover, do some soft tissue, some Normatec, get the body going, just a nice recovery, and then get ready for the next day. So when you get to AAA this level, you have an idea when you're going to pitch, and then when you're in the big leagues, you're ready to go every day.
And you talk about the progression from going to Double A and Triple A and obviously the major leagues. What has that journey been like for you? Obviously, playing at varying levels, going to the big leagues, then going back down to the minor leagues, and then kind of experiencing how that's transformed over the years. What's your minor league experience been like for you?
As I was coming up, I came up pretty quick. I debuted at 24, I believe, and I kind of shot up through the system. And at that time, I was a starter. So I didn't have any bullpen experience. Now that I'm coming back from injury, I'm 29 years old, trying to get my feet wet. Being out of the bullpen, it's a little different, but something you get used to. You have so many guys in the bullpen now who have experience, who you can talk to, who you can pick their brain. Um, just kind of get an idea of what their routine's like, what they do to get warm, in that aspect. But when I was coming up and down, man, it's when you get sent back up and down from Kansas City to AAA, it's a mental grind for sure. Just the amount of travel. Um, but at the end of the day, man, you're playing baseball. You get to do something you love every day. So that's something that's very humbling and it's good to have too.
And some of the minor league uh, transitions and travels have been chronicled over time in terms of the facilities and things like that. Maybe minor league players obviously aren't having the same luxuries as major league players. What have your experiences been like, and what you've seen and viewed from different facilities, and obviously the way the team treats their players? What's that been like for you?
Fortunately, I've been with the Royals my whole career. It's been probably 8.5 years now, but a big difference, even from before COVID hit to now, I think a big difference is, the food has gotten a lot better, especially for us. We have a really good nutritionist who takes care of minor league players very well. She knows what she's doing. Um, and also with the weight room, a lot of the times when you're in the minor leagues, you have to get up in the morning, you have to take a bus, you have to take it to a Gold's Gym or something, and you're working out in public with a bunch of people. Now, I think it's mandated that every team, road or away, gets to use the other team's gym in the morning, or they have a weight room for you, which is something that, coming back from injury, you never got to see. You're usually going to a Gold's Gym or something. So that's pretty unique. It's different. It's great for us, just because we don't have to wake up at the crack of dawn to go get a lift in and then have to play that night. It's usually around like 11-ish. They'll let us go in there, go to the field, take a shower, come back, hang out for a little bit, and then go back to the field.
And what have the road trips been like for you in the minor leagues? What's some of the best cities you've been to, experiences you've had in terms of just something you never thought you would expect? I mean, Omaha obviously is a lot different than the Sarasota area, and so is Kansas City as
Yeah.
well. But what's it been like to take in these different cities and different places?
Yeah, man. They're not the big cities, but they're big little cities. You have like a Tulsa, Fayetteville, which is our Double A affiliate, which is a great area. Very homey. Um, Man, my favorite. I mean, we've been to areas um, like the Dallas area, Frisco. That's a great spot. Obviously, we played in Vegas quite a bit back in 2017, 2018. They were in our division. Reno, Nevada. Um, we've been to a lot of places that are in the middle of nowhere, like Midland, Texas. Um, we've been to Little Rock, Arkansas, Myrtle Beach. I mean, I've been pretty much to every state, I think. Been to Idaho. I've been to Montana. Uh, and just, they're all different, man. They're all different parts of um, the country, different ways of life, different scenery. Um, but at the end of the day, man, it's awesome. It's something that I get to experience. I get to live out, and I do for a job. I mean, it's a living, and it's pretty fun.
And how has Omaha treated you? How are you liking Omaha? Well, obviously, you're there hopefully for a short time. I want to get back to the big leagues, but in terms of what's the city like? Obviously, what's the favorite thing to do in Omaha?
Man, I'm such an old man now. I'm 29 years old. When I get home, I'm putting on my Normatec. I'm recovering. I'm drinking my gallon of water, and I have this big water jug I drink out of, just to stay hydrated and keep my body fresh. And there's a lot of downtime, man. I'll wake up in the morning. There's a first watch right across the street I'll walk to. Um, I'll do my Wordle. I'll hang out, watch some TV, and then typically around 1 o'clock, I'm out to the field. But Omaha's it's awesome, man. It's a quiet little town. In 2017, I lived downtown, um, and that was awesome, man. There's a lot of good restaurants around. It has this old city vibe, brick roads. Um, but it's been great. It's just super hot right now. The summer is it's a tough time, but in the beginning of the season, man, you're getting snow, you're getting rain, it's cloudy, it's windy, and then once summer hits, man, you're getting like 101, 103-degree heat and humid, and um, I love it though, man. I got a lot of family close to here, about a couple hours away, so they're able to come see me, visit me every once in a while, and come watch a ball game. So I like Omaha a lot.
And what's like the living situation for you? Obviously, you're traveling during the season. Do you have a place in Omaha still, or are you just kind of hotel hopping, or how does that work?
Yeah, typically during once spring training hits, you have an idea where you're going to go last 2 weeks. Back when 2017, even like 14 to 17, you had to find your own roommates. You had to find your own housing, and you're also paying for it. Now, um, every affiliate has to house you, and you don't pay for that. So you're saving a lot of that money that you use towards the rent. Um, right now, I'm in a hotel because all the apartments were full at the time. So we're running a lot of guys up and down through the big leagues, and they already have apartments here. So I'm just sticking out, and I've been in a hotel since I've been here, and even on the road and stuff. So I'm not, it's whatever. I'm used to it. Uh, I don't mind it, man. I'm playing baseball, so it's all I'm worried about.
And when you're in the minor leagues, you're in AAA, one step away from the big leagues. How are you? Are they gauging you somewhat in terms of knowing that you may get called up soon, letting you know how you're performing and producing, or is it just a matter of when they need you, they call you, and you just kind of day in and day out just try to do the best you can? Because obviously, you don't want to, you want to do the best you can to get to the next level, but you also want to keep improving every day at the same time. So, what's that like in terms of are they letting you know, like, hey, you're close, or hey, you got some work to do? What's that like?
Nah, man, they don't tell you nothing. They don't tell you nothing. You just got to come out, compete every day, and try and give your chance team to win. Um, that's what I come out and do, and you know when you're pitching well, and they know that up there. The front office, they watch every game from every level, so they know who's doing what, um, and they don't tell you much, man. They keep it all behind closed doors, and you just got to go out there and you got to compete. You got to win. You got to give your team a chance to win and produce at the end of the day. And that's it. You got to take it day by day. You can't focus on, you know, am I close? Am I going to be in the big leagues this year? You just got to take it day by day and just play ball and just give your team a chance to win.
And did you, by chance, did you get to play with Whit Merrifield very much?
Yeah, I did. I played with Witt. I played with Eric Hosmer. I played with a lot of the guys that were in that World Series team. And
And and when you see guys like obviously Witt got moved this trade deadline, and so I mean Hosmer's been gone from the Royals for a few years, and he got moved as well. When you see guys like that, obviously knowing that the game is still a business, is that obviously with Witt being there for a while and being a part of the organization for a while, is that a difficult pill to swallow to see guys move on, or what's that like?
it's business, man. This game is business, and you hate to see him leave, but you wish them nothing but success. They're in good spots. They're gonna all those guys who get traded are going to teams that typically are going to have a good chance of being in the playoffs. So you wish them nothing but the best. You hope they can chase a ring and go get one. That's everyone's dream, and you wish nothing but the best. All those guys, especially in this organization, they're all great. They're all first class human beings, and you just wish nothing but the best. But that is part of the game. It's part of the business, and you see a lot of roster moves at the end of that trade deadline, and that's just how it is, man. It's just a business.
And were you up with that World Series team? Were you on that roster?
No, I wasn't. I was not. I got drafted in 14. So, I was looking up, I was watching the games and stuff, and they were pretty dang good. But when I got called up to 17, a lot of those guys were still there. That was their arbitration year or free agent year. So I got the tail end of that in 17, but it's pretty cool, man, being able to see a lot of those guys. And the way they go about their business, and complete professionals and everything they do.
And to kind of transition out of more back when you grew up playing baseball in terms of Sarasota, you went to Sarasota High School?
I went to Braden River High School for 2 years
Braden.
and then transferred to Sarasota my junior and senior year.
And what was that experience like for you? Obviously, at the ground level, kind of learning the game of baseball, knowing you're willing to take the next step. What if Sarasota meant to you in terms of your baseball journey?
Oh man, everything. There's so much history and tradition when it comes to baseball. It's such a hotbed for baseball. Especially growing up, it was the Red Sox for me. The times I remember spring training, it was the Red Sox, and now it's the Orioles. But I played baseball right across the street at Cal Ripken. I played all the way to 12 years old. I didn't do too much competitive baseball or travel ball in that time. Um, yeah, like just being around that area and seeing all the guys come out of there, like guys I look up to are like Ian Desmond and Scooter Jeanette and Casey Kelly, and you had all of these unbelievable baseball players that you looked up to. You wanted to be just like them when you were coming out of high school. And so that gave me at least a lot of drive, a lot of motivation. Um, Especially with my parents, they did it right, man. They it was just a game. It wasn't something that was so crucial. It wasn't who I was. It was just something I did, something I loved, and something they let me do whenever I wanted. And um, I'm very fortunate. I'm very blessed that I was even in that area to play baseball and just realize there's so much tradition, so much history, and I'm fortunate.
And it's funny you said that. I actually recently got to meet Scooter and got to do a story with him. He's working with the Babe Ruth guys, working with all the younger kids. How important is it, do you think, that kids learn baseball the right way at a young age like that from people like Scooter, people that have been there, done it?
It's it's life changing. You get a guy who's an all star, who's in the Hall of Fame. Like that's important. It's not. I was looking at it. It's not about winning at that level. It's about learning the game. It's about learning how to be a good teammate. And those are some things even now that you don't see in professional baseball. So it's good that you have people like Scooter, especially in our area, that's able to mold these minds and be able to help the game in our area and be able to teach them the right ways, the good and the bad, and be able to just show them the ropes of how to be a good teammate, how to win the right way, and take that on to their next chapter in life, whether it's baseball, work, anything they do in life.
And obviously, when I first moved here, I found out about how popular the football scene was here at first. That was kind of the first thing I was abreast to, was how good football is here. But then I learned that baseball is just as impressive with a lot of the guys that have come out of here. You talked about Ian Desmond, Scooter Jeanette. What is it like not really rivaling a sport in the area you grow up, but knowing that there's two powerhouse sports when football and baseball both are so dominated here in this area? What is it like being in a city that's just so sports driven?
It's awesome, especially for a community who loves the sports. Um, it's awesome. It keeps the city busy. It keeps everyone active. It keeps everyone engaged, um, and that's good. It's good. It's good for the city. It's what it needs, man. That's what kind of drives, I believe, this city a little bit. And I think us athletes who play professional, who play in college at a level, um, it drives us. We want to be that next person in line that's saying the same things about us. So it's definitely awesome. uh, Football, you got Venice, you got Manatee. Those are all powerhouses coming up when I was in high school, and it's awesome to see, man. It's a great city for sports, that's for sure.
And when you were playing at Sarasota High School, who was your coach at that time?
Yeah, I had Clyde Metcalf, man.
Okay,
Still to this day, the most intimidating coach I've ever had.
right. Why is that? Why was he so intimidating?
He just had a presence, man. He didn't take crap from anyone. He didn't care who you were. He didn't care if you were going to be the first overall pick. Um, if you respect him, he respected you. At the end of the day, that man had so much knowledge for the game. He was such an impact on my life that I don't even think he really knows. Um, but he changed my thought process on what I could be in life as a baseball player, as a person. Um, and he was a presence, man. He really was. You don't go to Sarasota High School, and if you're a baseball player, you gotta do things the right way. You got to play a certain way, and you got to have extremely high expectations. That's just the way it was. Um, and now he's retired, but yeah, to this day, man, he was intimidating, but it was all in it. It was all in good faith. He just really held you to a high standard and wanted you to be the best person you could be on and off the field.
And now that he has obviously made that decision to step away from the game in terms of high school, in terms of whatever he does next, you never know. But what do you think his lasting legacy will be at Sarasota High School and in the game of baseball and just what he's meant? Obviously, you mentioned there what he's meant to you.
He is a walking legend. I truly believe that that man needs to have some type of statue built at some point in front of that stadium, man. I mean, he meant so much to the game of baseball, not just in the area, but around the country. He was well known everywhere, whether it was college, professional. I mean, he had guys going everywhere every year from every class. Um, he was definitely an impact, and it's sad to see him leave, but I'm sure he's enjoying the retired life right now. I follow his family on Facebook, and I know they're traveling around the country enjoying life. So that's really good to see. I'm happy he's happy, and I wish him nothing but the best. Now that he's retired and just hanging out and enjoying that weather down in Sarasota.
And what do you think is in the cards for you? What's next for you? And obviously, you're working still to get back to the major leagues, but what in the future? Like, how much longer are you expecting to play? Like, I mean, obviously, you're still 29, so you still got plenty in the tank, but what's kind of the next steps for you in terms of your career?
Um, I'm gonna play this game until someone rips this jersey off my back. I've said that since I was in college. I love this game more than anything. Other than my family, my fiance, um, this game has given me so much, and I feel like I just owe it back. So I'm gonna keep playing this game until someone rips the jersey off, and when that day comes, who knows? One thing, my family is very they take pride in education, so I'll definitely go back to school and finish up at some point when I'm done. And maybe you got the Orioles in town, so maybe get into some type of coaching or front office. You got the Pirates as well, or even back with the Royals. I'll do something in baseball, something in the community. I train at a facility called Inspiration Academy down in Bradenton during the off season, and while I'm training there, I'll go help them with bullpens and coaching. And that's when I really found a love for it during COVID when that happened. So I see myself in coaching or front offices of some sort, the behind the scenes stuff. But um, I see myself in Sarasota forever, man. I love it. You don't realize it till you're gone. But it's a beautiful city, and I love the community. It's awesome.
And you mentioned it there, a couple things in the last few years that have impacted the game. COVID being one kind of changed a lot of things in the world, not just baseball, but it changed how kind of protocols and things were done. And then also the lockout that was happening impending beginning of this year. What we're going through both of those situations, like, I mean, obviously anomalies and what they are. You're not expecting a lockout you may expect every so often, but then a pandemic you're not ever expecting really. What is it like to
Right.
go through both of those as a professional athlete?
Dude, it was a roller coaster ride, man. It was unbelievable. I've never been a part of something like that, especially in baseball and life too, man. Um, Very sad. It's you selfishly we work so hard to get to a certain point, and then they shut it down. Part of it is what it is. Um, but you just got to keep your head down and keep working. You got to find ways to, continue to move, not just in baseball but in life. You got to continue to find ways to make things happen, and shutting us down, that was tough. And then the lockout, kind of the same instance. You just keep your head down. You continue to work until they start opening things up again. That's the way we kind of looked at it. Fortunate for me, I was in Arizona during that time, so I could still go to the facility. I could still get my rehab. Um, so that was nice in that end. But yeah, a lot of the guys who were in that boat of big leagues at that time, they just they're at home, they're continuing to train. They know there's going to be a deal done. They keep us in the loop. The association keeps us in the loop. They give us emails. We have Zoom calls, and they continue to let us know what's going on behind the scenes, and just keep working. And then finally, once those doors open, you're finally able to get into the facilities.
And then obviously your whole life playing baseball, the dream is to play professionally at the major league level. What was your aha moment in terms of like I've made it, other than obviously getting called up and making your MLB debut? Was there ever an underlying moment that kind of spoke to you in terms of I've made it, this is what I've always wanted to achieve?
Um, I made it moment. Not really, man. You get there, but you're always hungry. There's not like a like wow, this is. I mean, you walk into a stadium, and I guess that's one way you could look at it. You come out of the tunnels for the first time, and you see all these different stadiums, and that third deck is different. It's not like the minor leagues where you have a second deck. That's what we say here. The third deck's different. Um, it's majestic. It's amazing. It is a great feeling, dude, going out onto that field every single day, and it's a job. It's a blessing, and I guess you could say that would be the I made it moment. It's just going out to the different stadiums and seeing the different styles of the stadiums and just how they're built, and going to the top row of a stadium and looking behind home plate, and you have that huge view with a downtown city background. It's special, man. It's everything you work for. It's everything we continue to work for, just not myself, but all minor league baseball players, man. It's our dream. It's our goal, and just to get one day is a blessing.
And it's funny you mentioned in terms of kind of being in all of the stadiums because I mean I've recently heard about how Adam Wainwright does like those day after start walks around the stadium and just kind of
Mm-hmm.
takes it all in. Obviously, he's at a different point in his career, but I mean to be in the structures that they've built and the cities that are around him like that are beautiful. So keeping with that effect, what's the favorite major league stadium for you? Obviously, Kauffman is beautiful in itself, but
Right.
what's another stadium maybe? Or if Kauffman is standout, then let's just go with that.
Kauffman's great. I love Yankee Stadium, man. I don't know. I was fortunate to see Aaron Judge break the rookie record that year during our game, and I don't know if it was maybe that historic moment that made it special, but um, it's different in Yankee Stadium, man. The state you feel like everyone's right on top of you. It's got a different buzz. It kind of has that business New York City buzz, but everyone's locked in on every pitch. That's what's cool about it. Um, Pittsburgh was also a great, beautiful city. Beautiful ballpark with the city in the background. Um, Toronto was cool too. I love Toronto. The dome was awesome. Even when they opened it up, you got the needle right there, and those three stand out to me definitely. Other than Kaufman.
And then a last question here for you to kind of wrap up things. When it's all said and done for you, you've moved on in your career, everything's done. When you want people to look back in a retrospective viewpoint of your career, what do you want people to hear Eric Skoglund's name and think of? What do you want your lasting legacy to be as a Major League Baseball pitcher?
Someone who didn't quit, someone who continued to work, someone who continued to find a way. I could have easily given up in 2020 after not making the roster, um, but I battled. I found a way. Um, Even throughout the minors, man, I just continued to work. I continued to take pride in what I did, and that's what I want to be known for. Someone who continued to work, someone who was a fighter, doesn't have the greatest stuff, isn't a top tier guy, but finds a way to make things happen, and that's really what I want to be known for, man. It's just someone who was a professional and worked hard and just competed and tried to find a way to win.
And before we get out of here, where can people reach you, follow your journey, Instagram, Twitter, anything like that, social medias?
Yeah, I'm pretty low key, man. I don't post as much as I used to. I'm pretty private for the most part. But you can follow me, man. My social media is wide open. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Facebook. I'll accept, and I don't know if you want to put those up there or not. But yeah, I'm open, man. I'm an open book.
All right, man. I appreciate you sitting down with me for a little bit. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you're in that green tier tonight to pitch, but good luck either way.
Yes,
And
sir. I am. I'm hot tonight, so
all
see if
right,
we can
well,
get a couple zeros up on the scoreboard.
there we go, man. Hope to see you in the big leagues soon too. But I appreciate you again sitting down with me and taking the time.
Absolutely, man. Thank you. I appreciate having me, and great job. You're doing a great job. Continue up the great work.